Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now this rare Bitcoin signal is flashing on the chart, which reveals a massive move coming very soon, while the price is now invalidating this short-term bullish divergence, while Ethereum is now breaking out above critical short-term resistance. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still in a larger bullish trend on the larger timeframes, also known as a bull market, and still playing out this hidden bullish divergence, which is a bullish trend continuation pattern. And so basically, over the last 1 day since my last video, nothing has really changed here on the 3-day Bitcoin chart. But if we're zooming out a little bit, taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, looking at the Bollinger Band indicator right here in the price action, and the Bollinger Band's width indicator on the lower end of the screen, and we can see that right now a massive signal is flashing on this 4-day Bitcoin chart. And in case you're new to all of this, the Bollinger Band is basically an indicator that kind of shows volatility in the price action in a different way, because essentially the Bollinger Bands look to capture the price action within the Bollinger Bands. And so when we see low volatility, the Bollinger Bands contract and tighten. But then when we see a major volatile move in the price of Bitcoin, we see a rapid expansion of the Bollinger Bands. And the Bollinger Band width indicator is basically showing us the width of the Bollinger Bands. So if it's low, then of course that means the Bollinger Bands are tight, they have a small width. But of course, when we see an expansion in the Bollinger Bands, that is when the width opens up. The width increases in between the Bollinger Bands. And basically what we can see is when the Bollinger Band width indicator drops below around 20 in this indicator right here, so basically when it's at a very low level relative to what we've seen in the past, that basically means we've had a period of consolidation or lower volatility in the larger timeframes here, and usually this happens just before a very volatile move. So for example, if we're taking a look at this signal that flashed back in around November 2022, we saw that signal just before that quick flash crash to the downside, which ended the 2022 bear market. And in case you're wondering, that volatile move from high to low was a move of around 20 to 30% in the price of Bitcoin, just over around 1 to 2 weeks or so. And if we're looking at this second example, we saw this signal flash once again in around the end of May, early June 2023, so roughly around 1 year ago. And if we're measuring the size of that volatile move in the price of Bitcoin, of course, that was a bullish move of around 20 to 30% to the upside in around 1 week. And if we're looking at the third example right here, we saw another volatile move in the price of Bitcoin, which if we're just taking a look at the volatile section of the move, that's also around a 20 to 30% move. Or if we're measuring from the start of that volatile move all the way to the next major high in the price of Bitcoin, that was around an 80% move over a few months. And if we're looking at the next example where we saw this same signal flash, just the volatile section of that move was also around a 20% move to the upside in around 1 week. Or if we're looking at the entire larger bullish movement there that started at that volatile move, that was also around a 70% move to the upside in about 1 month. And so basically in all of these previous examples, we're looking at around a 20 to 30% move in the price of Bitcoin that plays out over the span of around 1 to 2 weeks or so. And then of course that move can potentially continue moving forward. And so once again, considering we're seeing the same signal flash here in the Bollinger Bands, a massive squeeze in the Bollinger Bands telling us we are just about to experience a very volatile move, this basically means potentially in the coming weeks, we should be expecting a very volatile move. And just for example, considering we are in a bull market, if we measure out from, let's just say, the current price at the time of recording this video, a 20% move to the upside would take us to around 82,000. Or if we're measuring a 30% move to the upside, that will take the price of Bitcoin up towards around $90,000 per Bitcoin. And once again, those volatile moves play out over around 1 to 2 weeks. And so just keep that in mind. It is very possible that within a few weeks, maybe in around a month from now, the price of Bitcoin very well could be trading at around 80 to 90,000. That is in the realm of possibilities based on this signal flashing right now and what we've seen in the past. But remember, this is talking about the larger moves in the market, and for example, these larger bullish moves can contain short-term dumps and short-term pullbacks along the way, so just keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, we can still see that the price of Bitcoin, at least for now, is looking more bullish than bearish on the daily time frame, as this signal in the RSI is still currently actively playing out. And if we're also taking a look at the DXY on the daily time frame, at least over the last few weeks, this has been trending to the downside, which has been another bullish signal for the price of Bitcoin in terms of the trend here on the daily time frame. And so at least for now, of course, on the larger time frames, once again, we're still technically within a bull market as the price is forming higher lows and higher highs, and we're still seeing multiple bullish signals flash right now on the daily time frame. So once again, when we're talking about the trend and the larger moves in the market, at least for now, we are technically looking more bullish than bearish. But once again, those larger bullish moves can contain short-term pullbacks along the way. So don't be fooled if we see a bit of a short-term pullback. That's very normal to see even during a larger bullish movement. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, we can still see the price of Bitcoin is chopping around sideways in this sideways price range in between this area of support and this area of resistance, which I've been talking about recently here on the channel. And first of all, this area of support is sitting in between around 67,000 to 68,000, and this area of resistance is sitting in between around 72,000 to 74,000. And so once again, like I've been saying recently here on the channel, I do expect the price to look relatively neutral just in the short term here, basically chopping around sideways in between this support and this resistance, at least in the somewhat shorter term here. And so essentially the price of Bitcoin, at least for now, is just cooling off after that previous bullish move in the price of Bitcoin. And then once we eventually break one of these areas on the chart, that is when the next major move will likely start. And first of all, if we actually see a break to the downside below 67,000 with confirmation, so candle closes on the daily time frame below 67,000, well, in that case, we'll likely see a return down towards these levels right here at around 63 to 64,000. Because right around there and also at these previous lows, we do have a lot of support as we've previously found in the price of Bitcoin. But on the other hand, if we actually confirm a breakout above this area of resistance, so basically breaking out above the all-time high at around 74,000 approximately, and if that happens, then we'll likely see that massive volatile move of around 20 to 30% to the upside continue to play out here on the larger time frames if we can actually confirm a strong breakout above that all-time high. And so basically, once the price of Bitcoin eventually confirms a strong breakout above 74,000, at that point, we should be expecting potentially around a $10,000 move to the upside in the price of Bitcoin over the following 1 to 2 weeks, once we actually confirm a breakout above that level, which at least as of right now, obviously has not happened, at least not yet. And if we're zooming into the much shorter term, looking at the 1 hour Bitcoin chart, obviously over the last couple of days, this short-term bullish divergence played out exactly as expected. But like I actually said in my last video, I don't necessarily expect this bullish divergence to continue to play out much longer, considering it's only on the 1 hour time frame. And usually these signals and patterns on the 1 hour time frame play out over around 1 to 2 days max before they start to become irrelevant and start wearing off. And we're actually seeing that right now with a bit of a short-term reversal in the 1 hour Bitcoin RSI, now forming lower highs and lower lows, basically telling us that this previous bullish divergence is no longer playing out. But with that being said, the price of Bitcoin is still technically within this sideways price range, which is why I've been saying over the last few days, at least in the shorter term, we're actually looking relatively neutral, at least for now, for the price of Bitcoin here on the daily time frame when we're zooming in. But once again, when we're zooming out, looking at the larger moves in the market, at least for now, this is still currently occurring within a larger bullish move and a larger bullish trend. And so when it comes to my trading strategy over the last 1 day, this has not changed. I'm still currently in this Bitcoin long position. And as of right now, I have already taken some profits out of this position, as I've shared previously here on the channel, and my stop loss is already in profits above my entry. And so for anyone new to all of this, that basically means if the price of Bitcoin keeps pumping to the upside, I'll continue to profit from this long position. But if the price of Bitcoin just crashes and dumps back to the downside, even in that case, I've already taken some profits from this position, and the stop loss would also close the rest of the trade in profits if we see a flash crash to the downside, for example. And so basically, if the price crashes right now, I still profit. And if the price pumps right now, I also continue to profit either way. And as always, I've been sharing this trade right here step by step, basically every single day since I began entering into the trade around 3 weeks ago approximately. And I've been sharing it very transparently here on the channel every day. So make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I'm actually sharing these trading opportunities where you could potentially make a lot of easy money. And if you also want to take trades just like this for yourself, then personally, I'm taking this trade right here over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim up to a 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link down below this video, making a deposit and claiming the airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can still see some liquidity right here at around 70.2K and around 70.8K, but we still have a lot of liquidity, around $1 billion of liquidity approximately at around 72,000 give or take. And so that basically means once the price of Bitcoin eventually crosses above 72,000, that will liquidate hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars of short positions, causing the price to pump even further to the upside in a potential short squeeze. And as for liquidity to the downside, we only have a relatively small amount of liquidity at around 66,000 approximately. But once again, at least for now, that area of liquidity to the downside is not as much as what we have to the upside, closer towards 72,000. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is still actively playing out the bullish breakout for the bullish falling wedge pattern, with a technical price target still in play at around 40.70, basically this previous high. And this breakout to the upside and that bullish price target and this pattern right here would only invalidate if we see a confirmed break back below the point of the breakout. So basically a confirmed break back below around 3.2K. But considering that has not happened, obviously, once again, at least for now, the price is still actively playing out the bullish breakout towards the price target. So over the last one day, not much has really changed on this chart right here. But if we're taking a look at the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool from swing high to swing low, we have the 78.6% Fibonacci level of resistance sitting at around 38.20. And at least for now, at the time of recording this video, the price of ETH is currently attempting a breakout above that Fibonacci level. But at least as of right now, we haven't really seen a lot of confirmation. We've only seen one 8-hour candle close, literally just a few dollars above that level, which at least as of right now is not a lot of confirmation. But if we perhaps see this second 8-hour candle close actually confirm above this Fibonacci level, confirming the breakout, then in that case, we may see a continuation of this previous bullish move up towards that previous high just below 4.1K to complete that bullish falling wedge pattern. And also, if we further confirm this breakout above 38.20, then that level should become new support in case we see some sort of pullback or retracement. And obviously the bearish scenario here would be if we fail this breakout to the upside and we actually just turn this into another candle wick to the upside like what we saw right here. And in that case, we'll likely just see another short-term rejection, perhaps retesting this golden pocket, because obviously just recently this has been acting as strong support, sitting in between around 3.6K to 36.50. And if we're zooming further into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, we can still see that technically speaking, this bearish divergence has not yet invalidated. But as of right now, we're getting very close to potentially invalidating this bearish divergence, because at least for now, the price is getting very close to breaking out into a new higher high. And if that happens, we'd have to reconfirm a new bearish divergence with new higher highs in the price and potentially still lower highs in the RSI. But if we actually see new higher highs in the RSI above this previous high alongside higher highs in the price, then there'll be no bearish divergence at all. And so at least for now, this is also something to still pay attention to just in the short term. But remember, this is only looking at the 4-hour time frame, the smaller moves in the chart. But when we're zooming out to that daily time frame, for example, we're technically still playing out that bullish breakout with a bullish price target in play. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 12-hour time frame, we can see right now the price of Solana is actually getting very close to invalidating this previous breakout to the upside for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which would invalidate the bullish price target. Because essentially, if we see a confirmed break back below $160, which was previous resistance and should technically act as new support, but if we see a break below that level with candle closes below 160, then in that case, we might see a further pullback towards this next major area of support, sitting in between around 140 to 144. And in a more bearish scenario, we also have major support in this price range in between 120 to 128. And once again, if we actually confirm a break below 160, that will invalidate this bullish price target. But even if that price target remains in play, if we see a bounce here and a further move to the upside, we have to keep in mind that between the current price and that price target, there are levels of resistance along the way where the price can struggle at, as we've seen recently. And this area of resistance is sitting in between 181 to 186 approximately. And this area of resistance is still sitting in between $200 to $210. And also just recently, over the last 1 day or so, we've now confirmed this previous area of support into new resistance with a break to the downside and now a rejection from that area, sitting in between 167 to 172, once again now acting as resistance. But either way, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.